This is something that he wrote in 1903, but today scientists are proving it. You see, I'm a great fan of Mr. Halmorzi. I think the hard work that he puts in, I think the things that he does is just so wonderful that I even joined the school. Now, when I look at the school, and what I found out is one thing, is that a lot of young people, they are looking to make instant money. There are people who have done so well on school.com, but there are people who are just thinking that if they can just subscribe to it, they can make the money. And this is where I wanted to talk about today. I wanted to talk about what does it take for you to become an entrepreneur? Because it is a myth when we just say to ourselves that, yes, I'm just going to create everything and I will become a multimillionaire. Yes, you will. Yes, you will. But then there is that time. I've always said in so many of my conversations that the overnight success is the result of so many years of hard work. Now, where do I want to go with this is as follows. You see today's cognitive behavior therapies, and you see and you think about neuroplasticity as to how our brain creates its own paths to the success. Now, what do I mean by that, and why I am bringing that subject up? Because what I want to talk about is something that's so ancient or really old. It is the book by Alan James that was written in 1903. And the name of the book is As the Man Thinketh. In other words, how do we think? And he, in a very small book, explained in 8 small chapters, he just explained as to how our mind works. Now, either whatever that you're trying to do, wherever you are trying to be, and whatever that you're trying to accomplish, the thing is very simple. You want to make money, you want to have a great relationship, you want to be adored by millions of people. There is this one thing, and that is the mindset. Because if you do not have the mindset, and I've been trying to work on that, and I've been trying to tell that to the people, because if you don't have the mindset, then you cannot. Because that's what it requires. It requires for you to have that in your mind that you are going to do it. And in this book, that's what it is explained. It is explains that the power of a thought is so unbelievable. So if we think one way or we think the other way, whatever it is, the thought that comes into your mind is what going to give you the results for tomorrow or for the years to come. You know, we live in an age where everything is so fast. Everything is absolutely running at a great pace, at such a tremendous pace. We get up in the morning, and after the first thought that we have, which is, of course, after the sleep and everything else, first thing we do is we open our telephones, we open our devices, and the devices then set up the days for us. The devices are the ones which tell us what is going to happen. The devices then just take over. Now, wouldn't it be wonderful if instead of device, you took it over yourself? Wouldn't it be wonderful if you kept in your mind as to what your desires are? Wouldn't it be wonderful if you kept in your mind what your quest is for? What are you trying to accomplish? What is that you're trying to do? And that is what this little book explained. I was so fascinated with that I want to talk about it. So the first thing is the power of the thought. You are what you think. You see, there's the character. It is you are what you think. It's how you think about it. What do you think? What is that is going through your mind? Now, I understand on one hand, somebody can say, well, yes, I already do that because I just want to make money. I want to make money. I want to make money. Yes, but is that the only thought? And then what is happening if you're not making the money today? You know, I see so many, and this is one of the reasons why I want to talk about that, is because I see so many comments where people are almost, in a sense, desperately trying to get to the next point where they can make some money. But if you sit back and if you think about it, if you have the mindset which says, I am going to make money in the right way. I'm going to make the money by thinking it positively, not by pressing other people, not by pushing, but thinking positively. And that becomes the subject. So there is something about neuroplasticity that we talked in the modern science, and there is a connection to the book of how the man thinks. It's how we think. It's how our mindset works. It is what that we are looking for in our own brains. You see, the effects of thoughts and circumstances. So the way he goes out to talk about is, the first thing is that our mind is like a garden. It's what is that we sow in the garden. Do we sow weeds? Do we sow bad thoughts? Do we sow in our own mind that things are not going to work out anyways? That let me make this quick buck and get away. Let me do this something so fast. Doesn't matter as long as I am making some money. Versus a great thought that you put in your head that you are going to help humanity, that you are going to do so well in your life that you will go out and help the humanity. Just two little different things. But once you put that thought in your mind, once you say to yourself, once you sow the seed in that garden of your head, of your brains, the same neuroplasticity, the same cognitive behavior that will take you to a different results. So what do you think? How do you think? What do you sow in your mind is what going to bring you your own results. The effects of thoughts on the circumstances. You see, the garden mind we talked about. Now, effects of thoughts on healthy body. Again, so many people have come out and say that our thoughts create our reality. And our reality, our body is part of that. So when we create our own reality, that we have a healthy body, that our mindset tells us that we need to have a healthy body, that I am going to keep a healthy body. All of a sudden what you do is you start looking the ways to serve it. You start looking to look after it. You start looking to do things that will make it easier for you, that will make your body, that you would automatically think about it. You'll automatically, if you're looking into something, if you're looking at something that you feel does not bode well with your body, you will stop it because now you are mindful. Just thinking about that is that how mindfulness can work with that. How you saying to yourself in your own mind that you want this thing to work for you, that you want a body. When you are thinking that way, your body will also help So it's all mental. Mental as to how people who walk around saying, no, I cannot do this, or I cannot walk, or I cannot do. It is all what you're doing is putting in your own mind, putting in your own mindset, which says that I cannot go any further. So the thought is so important on your own well-being, of your own body, of your own person, of your own physical body that you're talking about. Now, thoughts on purpose. Thoughts on purpose. You know, from aimless to achieving the highest potential. You see, if your thoughts are in the right direction, towards the thing that you are trying to achieve, then you are no longer aimless. Then you are basically, you are empowered. You're empowered to start thinking for yourself. You start to think to become a powerful person. You see, it's all in our own mind. I've met so many people who say, well, I cannot do this, I cannot do this, or I'm not capable, or you know what, I really shouldn't be doing this because I don't think if I will be able to finish it. And it's all in our own mind. So those who continue to do that, then what they do is they go around aimlessly, just thinking, well, what is the next thing for me to do? And then they just go into a turnaround and turn around and turn around. But if your thought process was that you are a productive person, that you can do it, that you are able to do it, then obviously it will help you. It'll help you create that particular amazing life that you want to create for yourself. Now, thoughts factor in achievement, sacrifice, and success. That is the sixth chapter that he talks about. When we think about, just think about what we want to do. Whatever that you want to do, there is a certain sacrifice. You need to give that time to create that particular experiment that you are working with. So you have sacrificed your time. You give your time towards that because your mind tells you, this is what I want to do. It's just amazing. It's amazing as to how once you put that in your mind, once you say to yourself that this is what it is. You see, the mind is such a powerful thing. It is such a powerful tool. This is something that he wrote in 1903. But today scientists are proving it. And as much as scientists are proving it, sometimes what happens is we destroy it with so many distractions that we forget about what our quest is. What are we trying to do? What is our motivation? Where are we going? So, and what sacrifice do I have to make for that? Because once I do the sacrifice, once I work hard to get that, and that's where my whole point was to start with. When you look at some of the young people who start and they say, wow, this is it, wonderful, let me start making money. But what have you, what systems have you put in? What is your thought process? And is it something that you're trying to do just for the short term, or is it for the long term? What is that is in your mind? What are you putting it? It's not something that says, okay, I'll do this, it doesn't work, I'm going to do something else. No, what is your thought process? What is that you're trying to do? Where is that you are trying to go with it? So, the thing is, this is the thought factor in achievement. What am I trying to achieve? Where am I trying to go? What is it? What is it, my end? What is my end game? Once you know my end game, once you know what I want to achieve, then you do that. So these are the questions that I put in my own mind. These are the questions. These are the seeds that Alan talks about putting in your own mind. These are the seeds that will help you go. So you become a thoughtful person. You start thinking about these things, and as you think, they will come to fruition, because that's what you're doing. But it has to be a pure thoughts. It has to be a thoughts that you put in your mind. This is how you are making. This is why they found out that the brain has the neuroplasticity. With that neuroplasticity, you can accomplish so much. Vision and ideas. That's the other thing that comes into your mind, right? So how do you dream? Do you dream big? Because that is what is required. Dream big, think high. And when you start thinking, when you combine that in your mind with every other stuff, then you are starting to think for the results that will come to you from that aiming high, that high thinking, that thinking big, that big, hairy, audacious goal that you're making for yourself. So you see, it's again, everything encompasses into what you put in your mind. Everything. Everything. And then finally is the serenity, the calm within. It's how, you start with a goal. You're starting with your whole life. So it's a thinking process. A thinking process that says, I am a human being who is very powerful. I can do so many things. I can accomplish so much. So how am I going to accomplish that? Is because I'm going to accomplish it with a clear mind. With a mind, and I am going to sow the seeds. I've seen so many people who have done this, people who have said to themselves, I am going to do, I'm going to accomplish, I am going to achieve. They have done so much. But those people who think the other way, it's just the way you think. It's just how your mind works. If you can work on your mind, if you can do it such a way that it will help you. Not just the temporary way of thinking that I got to make money, that I'm going to do this. And it's wonderful. But when you start, go through the process. The 8 processes that we talked about, they are so wonderful. And these are just the thought processes. So if you start your morning with that particular thought, with the thought that you are going to be a great person, that you are going to work hard to achieve what you need to do. I see Hormozi. The man is such an hardworking guy, such a hardworking person. When you look at that, this is when you realize that no wonder why he is where he is, because he put in his mind. That is his thought process, that I am going to be successful. I'm going to be healthy. I'm going to be successful. I'm going to aim high. My body is going to be perfect. But at the same time, I'm going to be calm. So you see how this whole thing works together, and this is what you need to do. You need to be thinking. You need to be always thinking as to how you are going to make yourself better today than you were yesterday. But you need to do that. You need to put that in your head. And this is, it's a small book. A small book written 125 years ago. But that book explains everything, which now scientists are proving. So that is what you should be thinking about. Think as to how positive you are going to go forward in your life. And I see so many beautiful and wonderful communities on the school. Some of them I've joined, and you can see by their mindset as to how they are growing so fast versus those who are struggling because they have not set up the mindset. They are still working with that. When you open first thing in the morning, your devices take you all over the place. What you need to do is sit back. What you need to do is think about it. What you need to do is write down what your quests are, what your dreams are, what is that you're trying to accomplish, and then sow those seeds and then go on calmly. I hope that I was able to explain you in my own way as to what you need to go forward and forward and forward. So if you like this, please subscribe to my channel. Please come to my community at school.com. It's called The Growth Gap Destiny Builders. It is for high achievers. And please send this video to somebody who needs to see this. Till next time, I'm Aslam Khatri. I will talk to you soon.